let's get going. Let's start off with that action at the Tuba Park because Gabi Affair was there to observe it all. Let's get that conversation going and let's see what happened. So it was a game between Attram the Visser, I believe, and Hohoe United, Zone C or Zone 3.
Yes, Zone
Division 1.
Yes.
What happened? What happened?
Okay, so for the uninitiated, and just for education purposes, Hohoe United, formerly of Liberty Professionals, so
formerly Liberty Professionals?
Yes.
Okay.
So they rebranded. So a change of name.
Sold to a new owner?
Yes, so sold to a new owner. And in fact, I even spotted some of the players.
They sold their license as well.
Yes.
To focus on, they said they want to focus on youth development.
Yes. I even spotted some of the players who were playing for Liberty at the time. Paul Kwame, a very good defender who was playing that game. So topping that table, Zone 3 with 51 points.
That's Hohoe United.
Yes, I think they've been excellent. I've not followed them entirely. The ones where I do watch their games, and we have somebody in this house who also has huge interest in whatever they do. So, of course, you'd want to keep tabs on it. And the minister was there. It was his first game he was watching in a Division 1. And
if I may ask, I mean, why would the minister be interested in a Division 1 game?
Well, as part of the build-up to the game, we had there were some rumors around the game.
Okay.
About, who are on the verge of qualifying or on the verge of coming back to the top flight. That's the Ghana Premier League. And you and I know issues around the league we do in this country. One is match fixing. Hooliganism, intimidation, especially when you are leaving your home to a different venue. So the venue in question, or the subject matter we are talking about, is the Tuba Shooter, where Attram Division have played their entire home games this season, managed by Gordon Attram. Now let me just get into what happened. After the game, so Hohoe United lost 1-0. I think it was a good game.
They were always good.
Yes, it was a good game. And at halftime, I saw Gordon Attram, who was very, very mad. He was livid.
Why?
I'll get into that. So I just gave him a handshake. Because, at halftime, you would want to give your team that pep talk, try and get them back into the game. Coach is here. He knows how these coaches do it. So I came back. And then after the game, the brawl happened. At the time the brawl happened, I was
Hohoe lost the game by
1-0.
1-0.
I was speaking to Gordon Attram at the time. So just like the usual things we do in football, post game reactions, only to turn at the entrance of the stadium to see some group of supporters wearing the jerseys of Hohoe United. All right, in a brawl with some other group who were in different jerseys.
Couldn't identify the jerseys?
I couldn't identify. So some were in like foreign jerseys, some were in normal dresses like what you're wearing, maybe what coach is wearing. So I had to get closer. But in getting closer, you have to be careful before somebody pelts you with some stone or something.
This was a dangerous atmosphere.
Yes. So I was on the turf, and the action was happening at the entrance of the stadium.
So wait,
you have like what do they call it? Is it wire gauze?
Okay.
Covering it.
Yeah.
So I was inside. So it means that whatever anybody will throw from where they actually
make it into
can't make it into where I was standing. So I had a very good view of whatever was happening. Then I was trying to probe. I was trying to ask myself a lot of questions that what led to the brawl. But I heard some of the fans who were agitated at halftime. That's Attram Division, who were complaining. They were doing this. When you want to actually hear very funny analysis of very funny things people would like to do, just go and sit in the middle of supporters. And Ben, you know how these things work. You hear all sorts of funny things because they don't know that you're a journalist. And I did that. There was one person who was trying to ask if I was a journalist. I just smiled and I had to join the Jama session. So
undercover.
You are kidding me.
Yes, I had
Gabi
to-
Bond,
you-
Gabi Bond.
You see, you have to be smart in distance. You get a point I'm making. So I joined, and I heard all sorts of things. And the things I heard there, was what escalated. All right, after the
Into
game,
the post game fight.
Yes. So, I think that the people who were in the uniforms I was unable to identify were allegedly some supporters on the part of Attram Visser. Hohoe United were very furious. Their players were very furious because
They thought they had been robbed.
Yes, I could tell that the team officials, the officials of Hohoe United, were trying to protect the players, speak to them that they should go back into the dressing room or the bus, while the action was also happening somewhere. Because if you get closer, I think some of the players would have.
Probably entered into the.
A similar thing that happened with the instruction man when we saw some of the players kicking, some of the players on the ground, and I think that was a very smart move on the part of Hohoe United to not allow their players
to get mixed up in there.
get mixed up. Now, Ben, you see, I find this very, very shocking and very, very. I don't want to use the word surprising. I'm saying this because I interviewed the minister and I asked him about his impression or his thoughts on the number of security personnel he's seen at the venue. You know how normally they would answer these questions. I could tell that he was not too happy with the security presence at that moment. But then he said it is okay for this game. Of course, it's a Division 1 league game. So maybe if you want to put it a category C, if I'm not mistaken.
But for everything that was said, this was going to be a controversial game.
Good. And so I'm asking myself the question that did they know the what's the word I want to say? The circumstances or the things that
The context within which the game was being played.
good, because I don't think the security presence was good enough for me. And I was telling coach off air that I could literally count the number of policemen at the stadium. After the game, I saw about 15 to 20 policemen. They quickly had to guard the coaches of both teams. So Godwin and the other coach into a very safe zone because they don't get themselves attacked. You get the point I'm making?
Was anybody injured?
There was one fan who collapsed.
I saw that.
Yes, but he quickly got help from the people around him. I think he was just standing. So somebody threw something. I think it was a bottle or something, and he was just passing to. I think he was trying to exit, and then it touched him. So he quickly went to the ground. Yes, but came back to. But you see, this is not the kind of scenes that would want to see, especially.
Just pause before you go. And you said something I want to just touch on real quick. You said when you were among the fans and they were Shin Jama, they sounded like they were plotting something.
Yes.
Can you just touch on that briefly?
What they were plotting was that the referee who officiated that game was a woman.
Okay.
Yes, and as soon as the referee comes closer to them, so maybe like there's an action and the referee stops play, you could hear them throwing insults, like insulting the referee and saying things that you're like that kind of stuff. You get a point I'm making. And you see, these are some of the things that you hear from when you go to match venues, especially grounds that have.
Predominantly, these were things that were being said by the Hohoe supporters.
Good.
Because
And-
at the
and
time they were training.
They felt like they were being cheated.
They were being cheated.
But
And
from
you
what
see,
you saw, from the game you
Good.
saw,
well, from the game, if you ask me, to be honest, I don't think the officiating was top notch.
okay.
I think the game was a good game, like I said earlier on.
The football itself was good.
The football was good. I mean, the sports minister even alluded to that. He mentioned that. He said that, look, he was impressed. And even said something like, so far, the games he's watching the Ghana Premier League and he can say that this was
actually better.
was very good. I think the AstroTurf played a part because, like coach said, if you're a coach, you would want to look out for a team that is able to keep hold of possession. And I think Hohoe United have decent players to do that. So they were more of like the team on the front foot. They were more of like the team that wanted to win. And so you can understand why some of their fans were agitated.
But I mean, on
You see, they're playing good and wanting to win.
When
it's different from.
It's different from they actually playing to win.
yes, and you see, coach,
I just even want to ask. I don't want us to spend all the time
Yeah.
on this. Basically, do you think officiating was biased towards Attram Visser and that Hohoe had legit reasons to be upset?
no, I don't think it was bias. I think I don't want to use this word that I don't think the referee was on top of the game because in some moment she takes a decision that goes in favor of Attram. She takes another one that goes against. I think she was a bit. I think the occasion got to her. I would want to say. I think the occasion. You know, sometimes we see it with even top European games.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can tell. Maybe
So the
like
game was too heated, so she just couldn't.
The
She was overwhelmed by the
yes,
the
and so you'd find yourself in a spot to where you would want to then take certain decisions to appease the other opponent, and
Like
in
balance.
doing so, you're rather complicating yourself.
Yeah.
You're complicating things.
Yep.
You get a point I'm making,
get what you
and I think, you see, I'm not saying that, or I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning what the fans of Hohoe United did. They have no right to do that. But then again, we've sat here and said over and over when it comes to officiating. I think we've seen this in the Ghana Premier League,
Yeah.
and then it results into something else. It's something similar that I think happened at the T-Bar Shooter.
Our football is the only place
Yeah.
where it's not family friendly.
Yeah.
Why would I take my family to?
And you see, not to cut coach, I like the point coach has just raised, because
Yeah, man, because-
at the time when the brawl was happening, I don't know if you watched the video wall, there were kids
Yeah.
around and they were getting closer to the action. There were kids around there.
So by the time you were leaving, calm had been restored.
Calm had been restored. And to add it, I think I would want to give thumbs up, or I would want to commend the police, because in situations like this, it would escalate into very, very dark scenes. But I think they were very, very swift, because they had to close the gate and separate those who were involved in the brawl from those who were, I think, trying to escape. And they closed the gate. So I think,
So some people have been apprehended
yeah, I saw two people who were,
in the custody of the police.
yes, but I did.
You-
They took them outside.
You're not sure what will happen. What
Yes,
happened?
they took them outside, because I didn't get outside to see what happened at the gate. So yeah,
No. All right, coach, you have something to share on this.
Look,
Looks like Attram the Visser are
don't
trying
know,
to
but-
avoid relegation for me. If you look at them on the
Well-
table, they are not exactly in a
let's
favorable
check this
position.
one. Let me check.
They are
What-
in the
yeah, so
semi-finals
coach
of
can
the-
just make his point.
they are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And look, they are the home team. I'm not saying that because they are playing at home, they will have to win. If you look at where they are, like you rightly said, they've got something to play for. They've got something to fight for. So it was never going to be an easy game for Hohoe. Yes, Hohoe may be at the very summit of the table, but moving away from home, and how many times have we not seen in the big leagues, the well-established leagues, where teams fighting for their survivals are beating the teams on top of the league? So yes, they may be down, but on the day, like Gabby, who was there, have said,
So
you-
so it's 5 points separating Hohoe United. No, that's Attram Divisa, who they had 26 points
Before
this game. Yes.
Okay.
So it means that
29.
they would come somewhere around 8 on the table, depending on the other results from the other matches that will be played.
So look, once they play to win, and like he said, they've won. You cannot win all the time. My biggest problem with our football is the fact that some people do believe that at every time
They have to win.
they have to win, or when they've got something like they want to qualify for the Premier Division, so they think that henceforth they should be beating everybody by 4. No, you don't do that. They are still on top of the league, isn't it?
Yeah.
So put yourself together and go again the next time. The problem here is that our supporters are not well being educated. In Ketia, the way our people behave, like I said earlier on, it will never be a family-friendly place. Why is it that you cannot go to the stadium with your wife and your children? In Ghana here, go elsewhere in the world. Stadiums are places that people will go to and they'll be very happy. But when it comes to Ghana, stones and cutlasses and things are where are they getting those things from?
No security.
Because like Gabi is saying, people were throwing stones. Why should we have stones at our venues? Why should we have stones there? Why should we? How did the stones get in there? How did it get in there? So if such places are safe to play football, Kumasi Sports Stadium is not safe to play football. Accra Sports Stadium is not safe to play football.
But those are good questions. How did the Stones get in there? With
How
the
did the
fans?
Stones get in there?
Is it a construction site or what that?
That is what I don't get.
Well, to
Why
be
should
honest,
should Stones be
You know,
flying left, right, center?
the
at our
entrance?
stadium?
The entrance of the stadium is it looks like there's a lot of work to be done there. Yeah.
Bah.
So
There you
you
go.
can actually from the entrance you can actually see all this the very things you have contractors building contractors. So like stones.
we are not serious.
Oh yeah.
You mean
I mean,
we are not
tools that
serious.
people can
That
use?
place
Cats.
is not even it's not even plastered. The place is not plastered. It's just
Look, and look, those people in charge of our football, they should be careful. If today, for me, my children, my wife, myself will not die, may I have stopped watching Ghana football.
You yourself, you have personal experience where you have been chased.
Yes!
Where,
So may I have stopped.
where you had to show them a clean pair of heels.
I have to run for my life, my brother. I had to run. I was just coaching. I was on the touchline coaching.
I have to come and hear this story later.
Oh,
Oh, he has told it.
I told this story.
You know, he
I've
used
never
to
heard
coach for Visser.
I was
FC.
coaching Vision
I've
FC.
never heard this
Keto Kreku's closest, the chief of staff of Ghana football. I was coaching, and you know who we're playing against? We're playing against Dreams FC.
Oh,
And Sika Kono was the head coach of Dreams FC at the time. They needed to win. No, they needed a draw. We needed a win. And throughout the week, something was telling me that we will get a red card in the first 10 minutes. I just had the funny feeling that look,
and it happened.
this game will not be officiated fairly.
Oh,
That was the first day I saw Babara Man played. After that game, I walked. I spoke to Sika Kono. No, during the game, I spoke to him and look, this boy should go and play for the Black Stars because he was that good. And 2 seasons after, he was playing for the Black Stars. What happened was that, having predicted that we'll be shown the red card, within the first, so my whole week's training was a 10v11 training. No more, was a 10v11 training.
You know the league you are playing.
I
in.
know the league, and I knew the team I was going to be playing against at the time, and who owns the team.
oh gosh.
And we had been following them, knowing them. But look, 5-6 minutes, no Vision FC red card. Oh, and shockingly, at the time, I knew my boss and the owner of Vision FC were very close friends. But I never knew that my boss wanted Dreams to win the game. I never knew. And I had told myself at the time,
Wait, your boss wanted Dreams to win the game.
this thing,
Some interest, big parts of interest.
this thing,
You know?
my players will vindicate me. During the game, when we were shown the red card, I told my boss that we are trained for this. Play. Cafe, 10 minutes now. Then we scored. Then I told my boys that, look, today, this is Mukumiwa. Sike now. I said, Sike, is the head coach? Touch Cafe Murphy. Then they collected a dubious penalty. Do you know what my keeper did? He said he will not catch. So my keeper stood out. He walked out of the goalpost. Then they played the penalty. Then
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
telling you what happened. I'm telling you.
Ghana
This is.
football.
I'm telling you.
This is
it's
something
me.
you were on the ground.
I was the head
In
coach.
fact,
of
you were not
Vision
even.
FC.
You were in.
I was
You were right in.
involved. So my goalkeeper stepped out, and then they equalized the goal. From there, Charlie, come and see football. 10 against 11. But come and see football. I was on my toes. Cafe.
Directed
Then
affairs.
the supporters
Charlie.
of Dreams FC saw that
Charlie.
if they don't get me out of there, there's no way we are going to win the match. I was there when, so it was my players on the bench who told the coach. Then we came say supporters no more ban, omo person omo how. Me say omo how. I say bobo me no be me coach me team. Then they came. Then they hooked me by my.
Only Joe.
No, only Joe. In the church for. I did momo and socks. Only Joe. I'm telling you this story. Now what actually got me pissed off was the fact that when I turned, I expected my big men from my team to come
Come to your aid.
But when I raised my head,
They were
they
sitting
were
and watching.
rather sitting with the Dreams FC big men And one of my players told me that, look, this is a planting. I said, look, but then my wife had just given birth to my beautiful daughter. I told me, I said, this rubbish of Ghana football, rubbish. I'm out of here. So I left.
They say he showed them a clean pair of heels.
Then when I was leaving, the people were chasing me, my brother.
They say Usain Bolt would have been proud of me that
look,
day.
That day, I had to take off my sneakers.
He ran a
10.02.
10.02 in 9 seconds.
I'm telling you my personal story. Don't laugh. It's a serious matter. We are on air, but this is a serious matter.
I know it's a serious matter.
It's a very serious matter.
Because the way you're telling the story.
I said, look, since then, I told myself,
You never go to
I'm well educated. I have my profession. This is my passion. Why would I want to die out of something I love doing? Take your football. So when people say, coach, I know the reason why I don't want to go, because look, me, no,
you have had personal experience.
Oh Lord Jesus, let's continue with the program.
So today,
let me talk about the family friendly thing.
Yeah.
And it's important to goes back to what coach said.
Yeah.
You go to a Premier League game, they won't show you this because it's halftime, because they are doing analysis on
Yes.
TV. You're in the stadium, they bring kids on the pitch to come and shoot at the goal, you know.
Yes, we see it.
hang
We
on-
see it.
yes. I maybe
Yep.
you see it small prima, but halftime, even there was an incident at an Aston Villa game. I can't remember who they were playing. So Martinez went off. So Robin Olsen wanted to use the pole to warm up at halftime, and they said, "Oh, we are coming to do penalties over there with the kids," and he refused to move. So this became an incident that, oh, why doesn't the keeper want to leave the pole for the kids to come and play in the pole?
Yes,
And that
it's a
kind of-
family-friendly
so it
thing.
just goes to show that when in other countries, this is why they are making money, because people go there with their family.
Oh,
You can tell your.
Yeah.
I was listening
Yeah.
to a Totally Football show.
yeah,
When you listen to that show, Julian Laurent, the French journalist, he goes to games with his kids all the time. What's this guy's name? Duncan Alexander. He takes his son
All
to
the
Arsenal
time.
games all the time. They are talking about, oh, I went to this game with my son. A journalist too. Someone who is there partly for work. He can
Yeah.
go with his son and do his work.
Terry Henry did one recently
yeah.
prior to the Arsenal Madrid game.
Yeah.
Took his kids there to the Emirates.
I mean, like we say all
You
the
know,
time.
you know the GFA introduced they call it something happy hour. Where you have so the academy side of Kotoko, so like the junior team playing the other junior team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, nobody there. The stadium they watch them. There's nobody there.
No, who will be there?
There's nobody there because of
You know,
the series of hooliganism.
place is
The
not
FA officials need to set the tone
The place
by
is not
coming to the
safe.
pitch with their family.
There's
Yes,
nobody
they
there.
should come. If I see Katokreku and nobody is guiding them. Prosperado.
Who also come.
All of them with their kids. And their
Will
kids
come.
should come and sit with our children,
Yes.
mingle together, and
Who
they will all come.
Look, let me read a
Then
few
I
messages before we go on. Somebody says, Ephraim Lion says, "Hey, Nimli will kill me. Oh. Please, I'm driving on the M5 in the
No more
UK.
fun, they take
Kindly
water,
tone
people
down."
fight.
He said, "Kindly tone down. I beg." This one here is from Tax Brown's blog. He says, "A nation without skyscraper. What do you expect?" I don't know what you mean by that. There are plenty of skyscrapers out here. I mean, but you don't need skyscrapers to be enlightened. I mean, I don't know where that's coming from. Anyway, this one here says, "Nimly talking from experience."
I'm telling you. No more Attram, yeah.
Anyway, let me
Oh, more.
let me just conclude by saying that, you know what, I think these things, like I've always maintained, these things happen a lot more in the lower divisions than even in the Premier
It's
Division.
more deadly.
And there are a lot of
Deadly.
And a lot of them actually go under the radar.
there are a lot of alleged machinations with these games. Look, our officials need to do the right thing by ensuring that our game grows. I don't know what they need to eliminate, but these things are not it. Look, this is not the way to go. I've had too many harrowing incidents at Division 1 and Division 2 games. People go there because football is entertainment and it's a form of recreation. Your promotion should not cost somebody his life or a body part or
At all.
I don't
Why?
understand.
It's
why
just
these
mere football.
your relegation,
Simple football.
your whatever it is. Look, play football, win, lose, draw, and let us all move on with our lives. But we'll be following the fallout of this particular incident from this game. I'm sure there will be a lot more in the coming days. So just stick with us. We'll give you all the updates on it.